It's great to have your students in the audience. I love you guys. I'm a professor of anthropology, and my collaborator, colleague, and friend, Barbara Cassidy, and I are the co-founders and facilitators of Stingray. We are thrilled that you are here with us tonight, because tonight marks our 10-year anniversary. And thank you so much for that applause, because it is a really big deal. At a time in our culture where people are silencing difficult conversations, we are having them here at John Jay College. And at a time when people are telling us that resources are scarce for some of us, we are finding those resources here at John Jay College to have these conversations. And I am just so proud to be a part of this community and so proud to be a professor here. I also wanted to say that in the last decade, we've been doing this for a decade now, so in the last decade, we brought more than 120 students' work to this stage. These works have been performed. These works have been performed by professional actors that you will see on your favorite Netflix shows, you will see in films, you will see in television shows, and you will see on and off Broadway. So take a moment to look at their bios, because they're really incredible people. And they collaborate with us, and they've been doing this for 10 years. But probably more importantly than the actors and the playwrights, if that's possible, is the audience. And I just want to tell you guys that over the last decade, more than 8,000 people will have seen these shows after tonight, tomorrow, and Friday. So I'm really excited about this, because sometimes people say, how can you have a play about seeing rape? How can you have a play that's called Seeing Rape? And I think that when people ask that question, they think that theater is supposed to be entertainment. And sometimes it is. But sometimes theater, like any good art, should disturb us into action. It should make us feel reborn in a new humanity. And it should also be a healing experience for those of us who have experienced sexualized harm or violence, to come into a room and see that 200 other people care about this. And we don't have to be silent about it. We can talk about it. We can have the hard conversations. But having these conversations is not easy. And last year, Vivian Lee, a journalist, was here, and she said, we have to practice having these conversations. And I couldn't agree more with her. We are not always perfect when we have these conversations, because these are brand new conversations. That they take center stage is a big deal. So we are practicing, and I thank you for being a part of that, for being courageous enough to practice talking about sexualized violence, saying the word rape, and being able to witness it, to radically witness what we're going to do here tonight, what our students have done. I have a couple of, we have a counselor tonight. I don't know that she's here. Emily, have you arrived? Okay, Emily, if you could just stand up, please. Because these conversations are difficult, if you feel like you need to talk with a counselor, there's Emily. Just go tap her on the shoulder and she'll follow you out. If she's speaking with someone, just wait in the theater lobby and she'll come back and get you. And then I have two favors to ask of you. The first is that you please fill out the survey after the show, because your opinions really matter to us. The second is that you stay seated after the show for a very brief talk back. We have some special guests that we want you to hear from, and it'll be about 25 minutes, and then President Mason has invited us to a reception right in the atrium, and there will be lots of good food, so stick around for that too. There are so many people that we need to thank, and we have dedicated a couple of pages in our program to express our gratitude to them. So I'm not going to take this stage and thank people, but what I'm going to do is thank our students, because they are our inspiration. John Jay College students are creative, they're smart, they're hardworking, and they deserve this stage. And we're so, so, so happy to see their work performed here. I'll just close by saying that just by being here together tonight and talking about these things that we're not supposed to talk about, these things that we're not supposed to hear, we are changing the world. And I just want that you to think about that for a moment as we start the show. Thank you.
Raised by John Jay Students. The Girls' Locker Room by Cami Achuri.
Woo! Girls, change quickly. Warm-up starts in 15.
I'm going.
Make it quick.
I'm going as fast as I can. My suit doesn't go past my hips.
There you are. So, why weren't you on the bus with us? Wrong question, Fee. The real question is, how was it last night? What? What, are you deaf? I said, how did it go last night?
What is she talking about?
Oh, yeah, it was good. You went out last night, and all you choose to say is, good. Come on, Self, give us some details. I want to hear something juicy. I must have missed an episode because I am so confused.
Sorry, I forgot to text a group chat. I went on a
date! She went on a date!
A date?
I haven't been on a date in ages.
Yeah, we know it's been a while for you. Must have the cobwebs and bats up there.
Very funny.
I think it was pretty fucking funny.
So, but you kind of distract us from the main topic of conversation.
Okay, fine. It wasn't like a fancy date. This guy from high school asked me out to dinner, so I accepted the free meal. We hadn't spoken since graduation, so I thought it was weird that he asked me out. He was never into me back then.
Free food? Never say no to free food.
Was he cute? What color are his eyes? Does he have any siblings? How old is he? Does he play a sport in the same equipment?
Yes, blue, basketball, 220, and yes, 2 brothers.
Perfect. One for me, one for Lucy. Okay, bitches.
You can have all 3 of them. I'm not interested.
You gonna tell us how it went? I am dying to know.
Nothing exciting. We went out to a pizzeria by his place and caught up on each other's lives.
Boring. Give us more.
Come on, Soph, give us something.
Well, he kissed me at the end of the night.
What the fuck? You forgot to mention that.
Did you kiss him back?
He's cute. Of course I kiss him back.
So what's the issue? Did you not want him to kiss you?
Well, no, I mean, I wasn't completely opposed to it. It just came out of nowhere. It was completely uncalled for.
Okay, so?
Okay, so a cute boy kissed you. What's the problem?
I don't fucking know. I feel like I shouldn't complain, but something felt weird. I don't know. After the kiss, he invited me over to his place. He had this weird look in his eyes. It was already late, and I wanted to get some decent sleep before our meet, so I kindly said, thanks, but no thanks.
Okay, I get it. It happens. Something's bothering you. What else happened?
Well, it felt like he expected more. I don't really know how to explain it.
Spit it out.
He tried to make another move on me in the car, and that's where I drew the line.
I'm guessing he didn't take the rejection well.
Bingo.
Then,
Did he hurt you? Where does he live? I'll beat a bitch up.
I'll hold your boots.
Oh, all right, relax.
We're serious though. Did he hurt you?
I don't know. I guess he tried to. I made up some dumb excuse and told him I had to get going.
What the fuck do you mean tried to?
I don't think he was being serious. He tried to be...
Ladies, what's the hold on? Let's go!
Sorry, Coach. Almost ready. Finish telling the story. I'm not gonna wait.
I don't want Coach to be mad at me for being late to warm up. Not to mention he didn't take the bus with you guys this morning.
Dude, this is serious. Coach can wait. Please.
What happened last night?
Oh my gosh, did you see what Coach sent us?
I'll look at it later. What's up with you?
She sent the lineup for the meet.
Nobody cares about the fucking lineup.
You'll care once you see the shitty events you're put into.
So, answer the question.
There's nothing else to say.
You can't leave us on a cliffhanger.
For real? Drop it? It's fine, and I'm fine.
We just want to help.
We can't help you if you don't tell us what happened. We're just trying to make sure.
Stop already, okay? It's not important anymore. Leave it alone.
Sorry, we just...
It doesn't matter. Please, just drop it.
These Things Happen by Kayla Ramjan. Woodhaven, Queens, 2017. During the height of the Me Too movement.
Allegations by numerous women who say the Hollywood mogul sexually harassed them. His alleged victims over nearly 3 decades include stars like Ashley Judd and Rose McGowan. Now Weinstein is threatening to sue the New York Times for defamation, and Lisa Bloom, who is defending her...
I am tired of seeing all these women on my TV every day. Talk about nonsense. One lady after the next lady. The only news stories they want to tell all day. Come now. I be proper sensitive, eh? You don't mind? I mean, who's to say what really happened? You want to ruin all of these men's lives? Give me a break. Half of them just lie anyway.
Mommy, you don't know them personally. And you weren't there either. You can't call every woman who says things like this a liar. I talked to you already.
I mean, this doesn't seem like the kind of thing somebody would just make up for attention, you know? I'm sure some of them are a little ashamed of...
Trust me, girl. I know how these things just go. Watch how much trouble they make.
So don't watch then, okay? Where's the remote?
I'm gonna go get some more tea. Anybody want anything from the kitchen?
Oh, no, thank you, darling.
No, babe, I'm good. Why you must always say something about these things, Mom? You made Tasha leave the room. Let me stop now, please.
Women today. I don't know what to tell you. Want to make a big fuss about everything, every minute, and you are part of that generation too. Watch me. These famous actresses on TV and all that, they still getting paid. They still get to live better than you and me. They get to do whatever they want. They ungrateful.
I knew I should have just changed the channel. I don't want this to turn into something. Do you have the remote, Mom?
How could you talk like that in front of your own granddaughter? You want to fill my child's head with that? You want her to think like you? Not very good advice from a grown woman who's supposed to be wiser.
It's okay. We don't have to talk about it.
Tasha is practically a grown woman. And so am I. So if I was you, I would watch how you talk to me, please. You know, it's when she hear these things from me to hear what is right.
The world works how you say, right? Yeah, sure.
Back home, we never talk about these things, you know. You understand? And there's a difference between women from the islands and women here in America. I just can't take it. They make a big mess. For what? It's very normal at the end of the day.
What's normal, Grace?
Baby, men will be men. Full stop. And sometimes these things happen.
Now let me just end the conversation for the night. I'm changing the channel. Why no one find me the remote yet?
No. Let me say what I want to say. Now, what if I was to go on TV and play big? Then what? Is that changing anything?
It's not about changing anything, Mommy. Please, enough. You can't do it.
Exactly.
Wait, hold on. What are you guys talking about?
Nothing. We're not going to talk about this anymore. Find me the remote, Tosh.
Tasha, listen to your grandmother, okay? I had an uncle when I was a young girl. He was my father's oldest brother. Now, you know, back home we used to live on the beach. Oh, yes, and the place we had was small. But anyway, my uncle used to come into my room sometimes at night. That's it. That's all.
Into your room?
I was the oldest child. So I shared a room with my sister. And she was a little baby at the time, so I used to look after her at night. And it was just us two. But what is important is what I said earlier. Things happen. And look at me. I'm fine. Don't be sorry, child. Come, oh God, no, don't cry. Our uncle, he worked hard whole day. He made sure that we had food to eat every day. Made sure we had a roof over our head. Make sure we even had enough to go to school. Who can blame a man for needing certain things? I couldn't. I couldn't do none of those things by myself.
What? You were a child. You said...
At the end of the day, you have to respect the man who provides for you and your family. When you cannot do it yourself, however else he behaves, he takes care of your family.
Tasha, honey, it's getting late, okay? You have school in the morning. I don't want to keep you up with this. I think it's time you got to sleep.
I'm not going to bed now. We're not going to talk about what Granny just said.
No, your mommy right. Tash, go off to bed. There's nothing more to talk about. Nothing else for you to know. I love you, baby. Good night.
I asked you not to talk about it, Mom, but you went ahead right in front of Tasha like that?
I didn't say nothing wrong, Cindy. You know, you have to let these things go. I did.
Keep your voice down. You talk too much sometimes, Mom. Seriously, and at the wrong times. You already say too much tonight.
As I said, my girl, I want her to know this as she grows, okay? I say it because I love her. I want she and you to understand me.
I do understand you. I do. But I need you to understand that I wish you thought differently.
How many times I can say it, sweetheart? Your father gave us everything. This house, a car, you going to school. How do you think he and I even came to this country? To have you. You know this. He was not a bad man.
These things happen. Yes, I know. That's what you said for all these years, even after he died. That's why I keep it to myself.
You know I love you.
I love you too.
You know, I didn't even tell my mother about what happened that night. Although sometimes I think she already knew because she was in the next room.
What a family legacy.
Okay, Cindy. I think we don't talk. Good night.
Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arrive. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly, into the light of the dark black night.
Last Day on Earth by Jose Viracocha, and sad Chowdhury. Time is the present. Rikers Island, visitor's room.
What'd you do?
How's my mom doing?
What do you think?
I didn't get to see her before the police took me in. I didn't have a chance to explain.
Man, your mom is so lost right now. She doesn't know what to believe. A part of her wants to believe you, but she told me to tell you she's disappointed beyond belief. It's not the first time.
I don't even know what I did, bro. I was just walking home from work.
That's not what the police told me.
The fuck do you mean that's not what the police told you?
Bro.
I'm behind this fucking glass pane. I don't even know what the fuck I
The
did.
police told me that they found you at the scene of the crime.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah. They arrested you because they caught you leaving the crime scene after you sexually assaulted someone.
You're fucking kidding me. That's what this is about, bro? I was just walking home from work.
Okay, just slow down. Then tell me what really happened. Because the police are positive it's you.
I didn't hurt or touch anyone. I've been saying this to the police for the past 2 hours
I
now.
moved out of the city for a few months and you already got yourself arrested. Sabía que era cuestión de tiempo.
But bro, I'm telling you the truth. I haven't done anything wrong.
Listen, Jamal, I only came down here to see if maybe there was some misunderstanding. So please, just try to make me understand. Say something!
Do you actually believe it was me?
Jamal, I've known you since middle school. You can't control your anger. You forced yourself onto your high school ex, even though you didn't go through with it that time.
This time it's different. I swear to God.
Oh, was it more different than the time you beat the shit out of Pedro? Just shut up! You beat the shit out of him just because you assumed he was hooking up with your ex. You left him with a broken nose and a black eye. I still remember because I helped you pay for the fucking hospital bill. So don't give me this innocent shit now. Like, I have always had your back.
You're like a brother to me. And there's no way I can ever repay you for everything that you've done for me. But I am serious about this. I was on my way home from work, and a police car pulled over next to me. They started to ask me a bunch of bullshit questions, like, what are you up to, or where are you going?
I don't think the cops would have stopped you for nothing.
The cops didn't even listen to anything I had to say. They already believed I did something wrong.
But you think just because they're gringos, they would instantly accuse you of something like that?
Look, man,
Not enough with the innocent talk. Why can't you just tell me the fucking truth?
I told you the fucking truth. They arrested me just because I'm black.
Police told me that you fit the description of the man they were looking for. There was no one else in the area but you. God, man, ever since back then, you never think anything through.
I'm not lying to you. Why the fuck don't you believe me?
Look,
You really think I would do something like this?
I'm done with this. You know, call me when you have something to say that's worth my time.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Good evening. This is Officer Frank from Rikers Island. Am I speaking with Mr. Carlos Gomez?
Yes, this is him.
Yes, hello, sir. I'm calling you on behalf of your friend, Mr. Jamal Davis. He isn't feeling well, and he asked me to call you to ask you to come back down to the facility.
I was just there a few hours ago. Is everything all right?
Sir, I don't know if you know this, but some of the inmates and your friend were in a dispute, and it got out of hand. We were able to de-escalate the situation to the best of our ability, but your friend had to receive some medical attention.
How did you guys allow inmates to even get near Jamal? I thought he was being kept in a separate cell for new arrivals.
Sir, I'm sorry for the inconvenience, especially this late in the day. But Mr. Davis has requested to speak with you again, so if you could come back down to the facility, it would be greatly appreciated.
Okay, I'll be there in an hour.
Did he buy the story?
Of course he did. Didn't suspect a thing. All I did was question me about the inmates, but I covered it up.
Whatever happens, just make sure he doesn't find out you guys took in the wrong guy. I get that you don't want to deal with more paperwork, but next time you and the other guys pull some shit like this, you better start looking for a new job.
Yo. What happened? Is everything alright? What is it?
I know you don't trust me, but whatever they say about me,
I heard what happened. The officer told me that the other inmates did this to you after I left.
even if you don't believe me, please, tell my mom that I'm sorry for getting her involved in all this shit.
You can tell her yourself. I texted her after I left earlier. She agreed to come see you. Friday.
By Friday?
Yeah, Friday around 2 in the afternoon.
It'll be too late by then.
What do you mean?
Please, just tell my mom that I'm sorry for everything. Goodbye, Carlos.
In Truth That We Deny, a play by Isabel Pimentel. Here, we have two best friends, Brenda, an engaged 30-year-old licensed therapist who has finally opened up her firm in Chicago. Then, there's Lisa, a 27-year-old single influencer.
Tight-ass excuses.
But it's not an excuse. There was a serious medical emergency.
Oh my God. What happened?
Well, you see, I had to rush to my doctor because I got a terrible call.
Oh, okay. So what's the news?
He missed me and Mama needed to get laid.
Oh, God, you idiot! What am I going to do with you?
Nothing. Your life is nothing without me.
And why are you still seeing him? He has a whole family.
Actually, that's what I came to talk to you about.
Oh, no. If you come and talk to me about Dr. McDreamy again, you can go. But nothing. You know, we've been talking about it for weeks, and you never take what I say seriously. I'm really over it.
What? How? I always take what you have to say into consideration.
Oh, really? In what way?
I consider that instead of cutting him off, I get laid instead.
Seriously, Lisa!
But actually, I did take your advice, and I cut my feelings out of the situation, so I don't get emotionally invested. Strictly dickly.
Everything is just a joke to you, right?
Brenda, you know it's not.
No, I don't think I do. You sit here day after day, opening up about some of the most ridiculousness, wasting the time of someone who could really use it.
Brenda.
No! I sit here and listen to you and try to advise you in the right direction. I only want what's best for you. We're not kids anymore. I actually take what I do seriously, and I don't feel like you do.
How could you honestly say that? You know I care, and I appreciate everything you do for me.
So then, what's the issue? Just what?
I just don't want to focus on something that I have no clue if it's real or not.
What are you talking about?
Honestly, I don't even know. It's like, ugh. There's this reoccurring memory that sits in the back of my head, but it feels made up. thing. You know how we tend to have overactive imagination as kids?
Yeah.
And like, we can't always believe some of the memories from our childhood because it may not actually turn out that way. But it's what our mind wants us to think.
Okay, so what do you think is made up?
Well, you know, when I was younger, I used to live with my grandmother because my parents were always working and they couldn't afford a babysitter. For some reason, I keep having these reoccurring nightmares, occasionally. Well, I'm about 5 or 6, and I'm left alone with my uncles and one of his friends. They're around their 20s. I'm walking down the hallway to his room because they're playing video games, and I want to play. But suddenly, the door is shut behind me. My pants are down to my ankles, and I'm bent over the bed, but I can't feel what's going on behind me. Just that someone is holding me down, and there's pressure around my butthole. And I feel paralyzed. I can't move anything but my head. So I look down and blood is running down my leg. I start to yell, but there's no sound. I want to scream for help, but I can't. I just feel a hand pushing my head down into the mattress, and I pass out, only to wake up on the floor to the laughter of my uncle and his friend picking up to start again.
What the fuck? Lisa, have you ever talked to anyone about this before?
No, like I said, it never felt real to me. And no one in my family would understand.
How do you know that this might be a dream and not some traumatic event that keeps replaying?
I don't know. It just doesn't feel real. It feels like a movie. And like the dream is so fuzzy. Plus, my mind is always playing tricks on me. You can't believe everything you dream about.
And you never told anyone? Not even your mom?
No. Why would I? She would just say I'm making things up, and my uncle would never do such a thing, or she'd put some superstition on it.
How are you so sure she would side with her only daughter?
Because I know my mother. She does not believe things like this happen. She thinks it's a woman's way of looking for attention.
No, she doesn't.
Trust me. She told me this to my face. That's why I never have, and I never will say anything.
It's just not making sense. And this seems crazy.
I don't know.
But it's like, are you sure that this might have happened to you?
Are you serious right now?
Yes, I mean, this is some serious shit you're talking about. It's hard to...
Hard to what? Believe me?
Yes, it just seems out of the blue.
See, this is why I didn't want to talk about it. Now you think I'm crazy.
I'm just shocked.
I've never given you a reason not to trust me. Like, honestly, you think I would lie about this? Can you honestly give me a good reason why I would make something like this up?
I'm not calling you a liar.
Are you sure? Because that's what this is giving.
No, I'm just saying, how are you so sure this happened to you? That's all.
It's not like this came out of nowhere. For years, I've had the same dream, over and over, replaying the same memory. I was just never able to make sense of it. That's why I never said anything. I was scared.
Scared? Of what?
I'm being judged, called a liar, looked at as ruined, told I was looking for attention and outcasted from my family because of the value he held. But See, the way you're looking at me right now, all confused and judgmental, that's the look I've been avoiding from everyone. The only reason I'm telling you this now is because this was a judgment-free zone. You said you were willing to help me with anything, and now you sit there judging me.
No, Lisa, wait. I'm not judging you. It's just a lot to take in. Especially after so many years, I know you wouldn't make this up. There's a reason behind it.
No, No, it's whatever. You know, it's only a dream, and I'm going crazy trying to make sense of nothing. I just thought you could help me with the pieces.
Lisa, hold on. Okay. Maybe you're not crazy, but
nothing. I'm just in my head. It's only a dream, and probably a warning sign or something.
Lisa, just take a deep breath and hear me out, okay? I wouldn't say anything to try and offend you or make you feel some way. Just hear me out. Maybe you're not crazy. Again, it's a lot to take in, especially since I can't look at you the way I look at other patients.
Go. I'm over it. I don't care what you have to say anymore.
No, Lisa, this is something you have to deal with.
There's nothing to deal with. You're right. How do I know for sure? Guess I never will, because this could never happen to me, right?
No, I'm not saying
Fuck
that.
you! You call yourself a therapist? I hate you.
Lisa, wait! Come back!
Conversation with a Ghost, a play by Haley McPeak. This play takes place in the present.
Hello? Is anybody there? Hello?
Hello, Elizabeth.
Hi. What are you doing here?
I don't know. It's your dream, isn't it? At least I think it's your dream.
I'm dreaming?
Appears so. Well, don't just stand there. Come give me a hug. So, how you been?
I've been okay.
Feel like it's been forever. You're, what, 17 now?
18.
Wow. Really hasn't been that long since,
You died, yep, almost 5 years.
can't believe it's been that long. You're in college?
Yeah, I'm a freshman at Sterling.
Wow, it's a long way from home. What made you want to go there?
I don't know. Wanted a fresh start, I guess.
What are you studying?
I'm double majoring in criminal justice and political science.
Double major. Wow. You always were such a smart girl.
Thanks.
I'm very happy for you. So how's Mabel?
She's good.
She's 13 now, right?
Yep, she just had her birthday last month.
Gosh, two grow up so fast.
Yeah, I know.
What about your parents? How's your mom doing?
They're good. Mom misses you.
Yeah, I miss her too. And I miss you and Mabel, of course. You know, you've grown into such a beautiful young woman.
Thanks.
I still remember when you were a little girl. Remember when you used to come over and visit? And we would spend hours coloring in those animal coloring books?
Yeah, I loved
You
those
were,
things.
obsessed with them. You always carried one around with you. Oh, and remember, every time you came over, you wanted to play prince and princess. You were the beautiful princess, and I was your strong prince.
Yeah, I remember.
We always had so much fun together. I miss when you were a little girl.
I'm sure you did.
What's that supposed to mean?
Don't.
Don't what?
Never mind. It's nothing.
Seems to be something. Don't what, Elizabeth?
Don't act like you don't know.
What do you...
I was just a little girl. But as I got older, I started to remember more and more of what happened.
Elizabeth, what are you talking about?
I knew what you did was wrong, but I was scared to tell anyone.
I don't know what you mean.
Why'd you do it?
Do what?
Don't play dumb. You know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't know what you're talking about, Elizabeth.
Are you really going to make me say it? After all this time, you're still going to act like nothing happened? Why did you do those things to me?
Do what, Elizabeth? I don't understand.
Why did you hurt me?
Hurt you? I would never.
You were supposed to love me. You were supposed to care about me.
I did love you, and I did care about you. I still do.
But you sure had a funny way of showing it.
I don't know what it is you think I did, but...
Stop lying. How could you look at me and think what you were doing was love?
I don't.
I was just a kid, a child. What was it about my 6-year-old body that turned you on?
Elizabeth, you don't know what you're talking about.
So you do? Remember? I know you do. I mean, I sure as hell haven't been able to forget.
Elizabeth.
You did things to me that never should have been done to a child. You made me believe what you were doing was okay. Every time you touched me, I thought I was being loved. How could you let me believe that? You were family. I was supposed to trust you. I blame myself. As a kid, I didn't know any better. I mean, how could I? But I still blame myself for letting you do that to me, for not stopping you, for not realizing what you were doing was not love. I think about what you did to me almost every day. It seems certain sounds, smells, memories remind me of you. Remind me of what you did. They take me back to when I was a kid, to when I was left alone with you, to when you had shown me just how much you loved me. Where did you go? This is my dream. You can't leave! I'm not done talking to you! It's not fair. Come back. You don't get to avoid me again.
I couldn't take it any longer.
when a feeling came upon me like a tidal wave. I swore to my God and on my mother's grave that I would love you till the end of time. Oh yeah, I would love you till the end of time.
The Victim by Serena Morrison. The play first takes place in the Department of Social Services. People are sitting on benches and are waiting for their ticket number to be called. Dre and Kamaya standing in line waiting to receive a ticket. Kamaya approaches Dre.
Did you bring it?
Bring what?
The stuff.
For the
Yes.
thing? Nah, I forgot it at the crib.
Next.
What do you mean?
I left it at the crib. I forgot it.
I said next in line. Pay attention. Or go home.
Give me a second, you fat fuck. So what are we gonna do now?
You can go back to the crib and get it, but
Huh?
you gotta go back there and get it. Feel me?
This is why I can't count on you.
You mind crying after this appointment? There's people behind you.
I mean, listen, at least I got it though.
That's not the point.
At the end of the day, I got it. I just gotta go back home and get it.
How long will it take for you to come back?
Like 15, 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
It's not that far. Feel me?
How about I go get it?
Nah, you're not gonna find it if you go back yourself.
Why not? You got something to hide?
What you mean?
You heard what I said?
I have nothing to hide at all. Feel me?
That's not what you said last time.
This time is different.
About yesterday?
What about yesterday?
Where were you after our phone call?
I was in the crib.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I was in the crib. What you mean?
To be honest, I heard about what you did.
From who?
Don't worry about it.
So you're gonna believe other people besides me?
You're not trustworthy. Matter of fact, you are a monster.
Sounds real personal.
How is it real personal if we're supposed to be co-parented together and I'm reminded of every time when I see your face? Do you even care about being a good father at this point? I am sick and tired of this fake image that you display. You are a phony.
Why would you even question that? You know I love my daughter.
What's your
Let
definition?
that shit go. I said I was sorry. It was just a phase.
What's your definition of love?
I take care of her. I feed her. I spend time with her. I do what a father's supposed to do to the best of my ability.
How can you love her but not love her mother, though? If you take care of me, I can take care of her properly.
You want to know what's crazy? The fact that you are not my bitch. You never were and you never will be. I just wanted to release some frustration and stress. That's all. Do me a favor and leave me the fuck alone before I gotta call the cops on your weird ass.
Kamaya runs out of the room. She has Dre's car keys. Kamaya drives to Dre's house and leaves him at the building. Kamaya arrives at Dre's house.
I can't take it anymore. Nothing I do is ever good enough for him. I have got my body done twice. I gave him my last dime for my college savings just so he could spend it on scamming. I even abandoned my family for him. I let him use my body even when I didn't want it. There was a time where he was twice a week for nearly 6 months. I vomit every time I think about it. I'm done.
Kamaya opens up the trunk of Dre's car and takes out the gallon of gasoline. She pours the gasoline on the front of Dre's house. Kamaya grabs a lighter from inside of her pocket and begins to put a flame to the front of the house door. Within a few seconds, the entire house is in flames. Kamaya becomes unconscious due to the smoke inhalation. Next scene takes place in a police investigation room.
Kamaya, as long as you answer answer all our questions, so we'll go quickly and smoothly. It's all up to you. Okay? I guess we can start with the question of why you did it.
Please forgive me, officer, but did what?
Let's not play this game. And we're pressed for time, and I have a wife and kids to go home to. Maya, you lit Dre's house on fire. Remember Dre?
How could I forget Dre? After all, he ruined my life after that night in Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? Nah, I wish. Every time I look at my baby girl, I am reminded that she is a product of her mother being raped. I swear to God, if anyone touches my baby, I'm gonna punch them in their shit. Matter of fact, I'm killing them. Dre is the reason we have this baby. I didn't want to do it. I was scared for my life. I allowed him to do it, though. I'm a pussy, and it's all my fault. After all he put me through, I would think that at least he would be a good father to his daughter. She cries every time she's held by him. It's a different type of cry, with occasional screams. It's almost as if he is a stranger to her, almost as if she knows what he did to me. He's lucky that all I did was set his house on fire. I should have killed his ass.
Maya, you realize you just fully admitted to the crime, right? I'm so sorry.
Last Night by Picardo. The play takes place on a Saturday morning in an apartment in Harlem. Joseph is sitting on the couch right beside his friend Audrey in his apartment.
So, tell me what happened last night. I came here early in the morning because last night you called me and scared the hell out of me. Are you not going to say anything?
Last night, August and me had a fight.
I fucking knew it. I never liked him. He always gave me a bad vibe. There's something you're not telling me. You were never this quiet.
The fight that August and I had last night was different. It all started when I said, "Did you bring it?"
Flashback.
Did you bring it?
You mean the condoms? Nah, I forgot that shit. But you always have one, right?
No, that's why I asked you to pick them up.
I mean, do we really need one? I mean, we're safe, so let's get to the action.
No. What are you doing? We're not done with this conversation. Like, you never really listen to me. Or ask me about my feelings. It's always just what you want.
What do you mean, baby? I'm here, I'm listening, so what's the problem?
What I mean is that we never really have a good conversation.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't. I feel like I know nothing about you. Where you live, your friends, your family, I know nothing.
I don't need to fucking tell you anything, because I came here for one thing.
He hit you? Oh my god, what the fuck?
I couldn't believe it myself.
I could believe it. I knew that asshole wasn't any good. I told you.
Not always like that. You know, he was so nice to me in the beginning.
Girl, they're always like that in the beginning. Was that all that happened last night? Something more happened that night.
What the fuck? Did you actually just hit me? No, I need you to leave my house right now.
I don't give a fuck about what you're talking about. We don't need to talk about friends or family because they're nothing more than just a hookup.
I am done with you. I need you to leave right now.
No, not going anywhere. You like this. I know you do. You liked it last week.
No, you need to leave now. I really thought we had something.
Something. This relationship is built on one thing, and I'm getting it tonight.
Tell me, what did he do to you? Did that motherfucker leave after you told him to?
I told him to leave. But he wouldn't.
Look, I know this just happened last night, but I think you should go and tell the police.
No, they wouldn't believe me anyway. He said I liked it. Maybe it's not that big of a deal.
Don't make me knock some sense into you.
Sometimes we play that way.
You can't let him get away with this, you hear me?
Okay, I hear you. I just feel confused.
You have
and I
to
don't.
do something.
Just shut the fuck up. I'm trying to think.
Everyone is glad to come home. Home is the beginning and the end. Ah, there is father and maman coming from her flower garden. Nothing has changed. Everything looks the same as when I was home last. It will seem lonely for a while, but you will take me for many rides in the country, will you not, Pierre?
Untold Stories by Shonna Nair. The play takes place in a hospital waiting room.
Did you bring it?
No, the police still have it. Why don't you drink some water?
Drink some water? What's the matter with you, girl? My daughter is dying. Your mother is dying. She's in that room, all alone, with those lousy, no-good doctors, with their hands deep inside her chest. Oh, my poor baby.
She's going to be okay, Ma.
How can you be so sure of that? Ya Allah, how could this have happened? I was supposed to go first. Why would she do such a thing? I refuse to believe.
Ma.
What?
Just pray. Isn't that what you always say, Ma? Just have some faith in God and pray and be patient because nothing is ever in our hands, right? It's all up to God. Sabir karo. That's all we're supposed to do. Sabir. Until one day life gets so fucking awful that even God doesn't know what to do about it.
Bas, just because you've been studying at that fancy American school all these years doesn't give you the right to use that kind of atrocious language with me. Bishanam! This isn't my fault. Don't you dare imply that I am responsible for my daughter's death, Bachi.
She's not dead, and I didn't say it was your fault.
Acha, then why can't you look at me?
You knew she was struggling. 21 years, Ma. 21 years of pain, control, and slamming doors, and anger outbursts, and 7 babies and more pain. How could you have missed all of that for 21 years? She was dying inside. I could see it right before me, but I was a child myself. You were her mother.
I'm going to stop you before you say another word, Bache. There's nothing in this world that your mother went through that I didn't go through, that my mother and grandmother and my great-grandmother...
I can't do this right now.
I've seen a lot of terrible men.
and your father is not one of them. My father beat up my mother just for putting too much salt in his food, and made me and my sister watch as he whipped his belt across her chest for an entire hour. And my mother, she still stood by his side and honored him because he worked hard to put food on the table. She had 2 daughters to look after, and your goddamn mother has 7.
So that's how low the bar is, huh? As long as they don't whip a belt at your chest or kick you or rape you or murder you, they're good men? And why do you keep making excuses for these men? Why are you defending these monsters over your own daughter?
Bas! I don't owe you an explanation, bache. You moved away and gave up on your mother a long time ago and left me to pick up the pieces. Everyone always tells me that it was my fault that all my daughters are unhappy. But no one has ever questioned any decision your grandfather has made. Do you really think that it was me who decided to marry off my daughters when they were still playing with dolls? Why do I have to bear the consequences of his decisions when I never even had the freedom to question him?
You're right. I'm sorry, Mom. I didn't mean to upset you more than you already are. Of course it isn't your fault. It's just... we're tired. Let's just pray, Mom.
At least he never raised his hand on her. So what if he occasionally yelled at her or broke a few dishes or preferred that she stayed home to look after the kids? He had a wife and 7 children to feed. That isn't an easy task for a man. And who can blame him for occasionally losing his nerve? He saved the honor of our family. You, of all people, should be
What
grateful.
honor? What are you talking about? He married Mom when she was 12 years old. What honor is there to that? I don't understand how you can be
Saved our family.
Saved? What does that even mean?
Choro, never mind. We are here for your mother. I'm done with this conversation.
No, you can't just say that and expect me to forget like this conversation never happened. I need to know.
Your mother was ruined. It was over for her. One night, 21 years ago, a man broke into our home and had his way with your mother. No one would have her after that. Who wants to marry a ruined 12-year-old girl? No one. But your father, being the honorable man that he was, stepped up and offered his hand for no price. I won't let you slander his good name after what he did for our family, after what he did for you.
For me?
Never mind this nonsense. Where are my glasses? I can't seem to find them.
That doesn't make any sense. My mother was raped 21 years ago.
Your father fed you and clothed you and loved you like his own child, Bache. He did what no other self-respected man would have done in that day and age. He has a lot of weaknesses, but I will never forget what he did for us. I ask for you to always remember that. He isn't a bad man. There are so many things I wish I had done differently.
Me too.
She came to see me last week. Your mother. She wasn't looking too well. She told me she...
What? You knew she was going to do this and you didn't...
No. She just wasn't feeling well. She looked tired. It was the first time in 21 years that I felt like she actually wanted to talk. Get things off her chest.
And?
She said she wanted to leave the country. Start somewhere fresh with your sister. She said the rest of you were old enough to look after yourselves.
Well, that's not nice. She wouldn't say that.
She was talking like a mad woman, completely disconnected from reality. Like her life was just her own. Like she had forgotten she was a mother and a wife and a daughter.
What did you say to her?
She said she felt trapped. Like she didn't have a life outside of her marriage. I told her she had lost her mind. Leave the country. Her husband and kids. I told her that. I'd rather see her dead. Those were my last words to her.
I was 4 the first time my father called me a puta. I was daydreaming about a boy and wrote his name with a heart around it, and he saw it. He gave me until the count of 3 to get rid of it.
3. Te voy a romper la cara. 2. Tan chiquita y tan puta. 1. Arrodíllate, cabrona.
I ripped his name off the paper.
Más te vale.
I remember looking to my mother for help, but she ignored the situation altogether. She was good for that, ignoring me while I got my ass beat.
Don't hit her in the face,
Was all she would say. I was the product of a third date fuck.
I wanted your mother to have an abortion.
He told me the first time I tried to kill myself. His version of,
You should live, because I couldn't kill you.
I was my father's greatest love and greatest disappointment. His favorite thing to pick apart and criticize. My mother, jealous of his love for me, would add to the lesson my father called beating the bullshit out of you.
tú sabes lo que hizo esta cabrona.
She'd start and then begin to exaggerate whatever childish thing I'd done for the day. Smart. No questions, no explanations. I couldn't speak up for myself. I couldn't show any emotion, just gratitude for all I had. My father was an at-least man, and my mother was his enabler.
At least I don't drink. At least I don't gamble the money away. At least I take care of the house.
He told my mother after she discovered him cheating for the second time.
At least I didn't get her pregnant.
Reminders that it could always be worse, so we should be grateful. One day I complained to my mother about him. He never says anything nice to me. He just says I'm dirty and fat.
If you're fat, you're ugly.
He'd say.
So here, drink this.
unsweetened grapefruit juice. It was the beginning of summer, and I was so excited to go to the park. My father saw my 8-year-old body jiggle and decided it was disgusting. I faked a sip and handed him back the bottle. Rage flared up in his eyes as he shoved the bottle back into my mouth so hard he busted my lip. I was now drinking grapefruit juice and my own blood.
At least I care about how you look.
Dejate de mierda.
My mother responded.
You are so ungrateful. Does he abuse you? Have you ever gone hungry? Do you have clothes? So fucking ungrateful.
I was never safe, even on the good days. When the night was calm and he was in a decent enough mood, he'd still lean in and say,
Eres a los mexicanos. Chingona. That's you. Always something.
So as soon as I could, I was out. I was 20 years old, and you couldn't tell me shit. I met a guy who was funny and fucked me good most nights, and who had his own place. He was nothing like my father, which was refreshing, and I was nothing like my mother, which was a relief, because that shit passes on. Except, he wouldn't touch me in public.
It's a privacy thing. At least you know I love you.
Okay, then, he wouldn't hang out with me. We didn't go out. We didn't hang out with friends or even go out to dinner. Are you hiding me?
How am I hide a whole damn person? At least people know about you.
I guess. Well, one day I got enough courage to say, I need more love and affection.
You're asking me to be someone I'm not. You're acting like I'm an asshole. At least I don't beat you.
A little bit of love was better than nothing, I suppose. It's just who he is. If he didn't love me, he wouldn't always beg for me to come back when I leave.
At least I'm willing to help you.
He said, when he wouldn't let me go to therapy.
At least one of us isn't crazy.
When I found out I was pregnant.
At least I claimed him.
He said, when he wouldn't stay in the hospital after he was born.
At least he knows who I am.
He said, when he demanded less time with our son. At least he calls me baby. At least he comes home to me. At least he says he loves me. At least he holds me at night. At least he's gentle so it doesn't wake me up. It's not rape if he's gentle. It's not rape if he loves me. He doesn't beat me. He holds me sometimes. He'll come back because she's not enough. Why else would he always come to me? When did we become women so comfortable with the bare minimum? Starving for love, so we accept the scraps they give us. Begging for attention, begging for love from a boy who doesn't love women in the first place. You like how I make your dick feel, babe, but you don't love me. Do you know what love is? Do you know what it looks like? Doesn't matter now. It's no longer my problem. That empty feeling you have, that peace you left behind when you nearly killed me, is still dancing around my bedpost. It's been over a year, and the fucker is still trying to find his way back to the honeypot he called home. You have no place here, I tell it. Go back to the east side with that bullshit. But it stays. The piece of you always stays. I finally learned that respect was better than attention. I no longer stood under the weight of his love. I had a voice and opinions, and I learned that I am worth so much more than the bullshit you're willing to give me.
You're a cunt. Always have been.
I'll take that.
Yes.
I have crashed and burned and come up as the whore you always accuse me of being. I'm not your dirty secret. I'm not the crevice you find solace in when you're cold and the world was hard on you. You can no longer bury yourself in me. I'm not your fetish. I'm not the big girl you fuck just to see what it's like. I'm not the reason you made nothing of yourself, but I will be your greatest regret. Hell for you will be realizing that I was always your paradise. I will creep into your ears when you're sleeping and sit behind your eyes and play theater director with your memories. I'll replay the memories you'd rather forget. I'll replay the last time we fucked. So good. You held my pussy to keep it close. You wake up in cold sweat 3 a.m. reaching for me. For her, as default. Puta. I'll be that. Cabrona. Chingona. Cunt. Fuck it. I'll be all of it if it makes me free. ¡Vivas las putas! ¡Vivas las putas! ¡Vivas las chingonas y cabronas! Fuck it, I'll be all of it. Big ups to the girls who were told they were too loud, too bold, too loving, too much, too intense, too sensitive, too emotional, too angry, too hard, too excited, too honest, or just too much of what made them uncomfortable. You were just being yourself in a world where people were taught to change who they were. People who became dream killers. People who secretly envied your exuberance. We are queens to those willing to see and accept our light. Fuck the others who don't. Let them not see our light, our magic. We still possess it. We still rise every day from the chaos-filled pillows, despair and tears, leaving stains from the night before. We kick ass, and we raise hell! Fuck my father for thinking at least was enough. Fuck my mother for not knowing better. Fuck my ex for seeing my light and dimming it every chance he got. Fuck the witch hunters who fear us. Real men don't fear witches. They worship us. I am light. I am fire. I am the universe. I am the sunlight that illuminates all of your mistakes and insecurities. I am my grandmother, brave and bold, and took shit from no man. I am not at least. I am more. I am all. I am love and happiness. I am the feeling you get when you bust in her and think of me. My time is too precious to be wasted, and my pussy is too bomb to be fucked and left out to dry. There is a fucking jubilee between my thighs, and it is dripping with pearls and diamonds and smells of coconut and honey. And you, my dear, are not invited.
Do we have any other playwrights here tonight who are supposed to be on the talkback panel? There's Haley. Great. Awesome. Well, thank you all so much. I'm going to let the panel introduce themselves, but we're going to start with our special guest. We have Cecile Noel from the Mayor's Office, and we also have Rachel Marshall, who is here from the Institute for the Innovation and Prosecution. So we're going to start with Cecile. She'll introduce herself, and then Rachel will introduce herself. Then we'll have everybody else introduce themselves, and then Cecile and Rachel are going to respond to the plays. They're our special guests tonight. So,
good evening, everyone. It really is such a pleasure to be here with you this evening to really talk about this extremely important topic. My name is Cecile Noel, and I am the Commissioner for the Mayor's Office to End Domestic and Gender-Based Violence. So what does that really mean that we cover? All right. So our office really does major coordination around the city, both with criminal justice and
advocates and social services providers and other city agencies to really think about how we comprehensively address issues such as sexual violence, domestic violence, human trafficking, stalking, family violence. We cover that big swath of work, but one that we're hugely committed to, and I'm so appreciative to be here for this talk back and for these amazing performances. So.
Thank you so much. Oops, I'm sorry about that. My name is Rachel Marshall. I am the Executive Director of the Institute for Innovation and Prosecution right here at John Jay College. We are a center devoted to promoting criminal justice reform through prosecutors. We work with prosecutors across the country in promoting alternatives to incarceration, thinking about ways to better support survivors, promoting police accountability, racial justice, and a whole lot of other reforms, and really working through prosecutors to try to make the system better and work for all communities. And a huge part of our work involves thinking around survivors and how to make sure that their voices are heard and that they're treated with dignity throughout the legal system, which is something that I know we'll touch upon in a few minutes during our conversation around the play. I did want to note, though, that before I joined John Jay, I had been working at the San Francisco District Attorney's Office, where I was the Director of Communications and a Policy Advisor for Chesa Boudin, and prior to that, I was a public defender for nearly a decade. So I've really seen the legal system work in very different ways, and frankly often fail survivors, particularly those dealing with sexual assault crimes. So I'm eager to talk about that, and thank you so much to all the playwrights and the actors tonight. You really did a fantastic job, so thank you.
Thank you so much. So introduce yourself first, and then we'll go down the line, and then the actors on the other side.
Hi, I'm Hannah McPeak. I am a lower senior at John Jay, and I wrote Conversation with the Ghost. Hello, my name is Jasmine, and I wrote Jubilee.
Hi everyone, my name is Serena Morrison. I'm a senior here at John Jay, majoring in sociology and minoring in Africana studies. I wrote the play The Victim.
Hi, I'm Gabe Gerson. I was one of the actors tonight.
I'm Kim Awan, one of the actors tonight.
Hi, I'm Nace Lozano, one of the actors tonight.
Thank you all so much. So if we can start with Cecile, we would love to hear what you, a response to the plays.
So first I'd like to say that the students, the authors of the plays, playwrights, are simply amazing. And your voice is so important here. The work is incredible. You have touched on so many things throughout the whole performance in each of the plays, touches on something so really important. You've addressed the cultural issues, you've addressed the intergenerational issues, you've addressed the complications of relationships and value of self and how that happens or doesn't happen, right, in a relationship. You're amazing, the work is amazing. And most importantly, you've really created space for compelling conversation. Art, I think, Professor Trinch said it earlier, that art is an amazing tool that allows us the space to connect and reflect and take from it what we need both to challenge, right, to challenge ourselves and challenge society at large, but it's also space for survivors. We don't know who was in the audience, but I know that in this audience, one or more of these plays connected with someone and gave voice to that, and that is so incredible. This work is incredible. So thank you all. Thank you all so much.
Sure. Well, I want to first of all echo just another round of applause, if we could, for the playwrights. Unbelievable talent in this room, and thank you so much for sharing those stories and inspiring so many of us. I think I work in the legal system, and what we see so often is that sexual assault survivors, like many victims, are often treated like pieces of evidence. Their humanity isn't honored, their dignity is not often respected. And what I love so much about these plays is it tells the true stories. It talks about that they showed the humanity and individuality, that there's not a one-size-fits-all approach to how someone views being a survivor, whether they even view themselves as a survivor, I should say. And so I think that the complexity that these plays brought was so powerful to show the individual stories that are so often lost in the larger conversations around sexual assault, and certainly in the practice throughout the legal system. So that's really what I think resonated most with me, and I am so impressed by the performers, at the playwrights, and I cannot wait to see more. I wanted to mention, I forgot to say earlier, that we were fortunate enough last year, we were able to actually bring local prosecutors from across the country to see performances of Seeing Rape, and I know how much that affected them and continues to affect them to this day, just seeing those stories in a way that is so much more nuanced, so much more complex, and so much more powerful than the system often reduces those stories to. So I want to just note that, and thank you again for the amazing work done tonight.
Thank you so much, Rachel. Mics here, we would love for people to come down to the mics, make a comment, maybe congratulate the playwrights, or have a question, whatever. So please feel free, guys. I'd like to see my students up there. Just Mary. Yes, yay. But I also wanted to say, Rachel, one of the things that I really felt when we were in a room with prosecutors, and big, important prosecutors from across the nation that IIP had here at John Jay College, which was amazing, and our student plays, showed the wisdom that our students have. And I was just blown over by that these really important people from all across the country were getting wisdom from our students. And it's just, there's so much wisdom. So thank you guys. Just Mary.
Excuse my voice, I'm a little sick, but for my playwrights, congratulations. That was just a moving performance from everyone. I just wanted to ask you guys, how did it feel writing something like that and putting something so vulnerable out to the world?
Beautiful question.
I can answer that. It felt incredible. I originally, when I started to write the play, first of all, I did not think I would get chosen for this opportunity, so thank you so much. But as I was writing it, I was picturing myself as a lower class Black woman who has many layers of baggage and things that she's going through, and then society attacking her, the system against her, all these different components. And I'm like, writing from that standpoint, it made me feel like I had, one, to get this done and meet the deadline, but also to tell a greater story and shed light on very real issues that many Black people are encountering on a daily basis.
It was super cathartic for me. My piece is a mix of I'm so fortunate to know.
Jasmine. We can't hear you.
I'm super fortunate to know a lot of women and femmes who were open enough to share their stories with me growing up, and it was very I went through this, don't do it, learn from me. That's a lot of what I had growing up. So it was a mix of my story, their story. It was if this is the one chance we have to be heard, this is what's going on the paper. I don't care who I embarrass. I don't care if my mom was in the crowd like this, because I said pussy 5 times in the span of 30 seconds. It didn't matter, because if it needs to be said, fuck it, it needs to be said.
Jasmine, absolutely. Such an inspiration. Whenever I'm afraid, I think of Jasmine Garcia.
For me, it was a little hard to write. I know a few people in my life who have experienced child sexual abuse, which is what my main character went through. So just writing about it was hard. But I'm glad I got to tell that story, and I hope that other people who've seen it or read it or whoever I've shared it with are able to resonate with it.
Really did. You guys did a great job.
Hi, nice to see you guys again.
My question is for the actors. It's more or less the same question that was for the playwrights. How did you guys feel stepping into these roles?
That's a good question. And it's hard because, and one of the things that makes it hard and one of the things that makes it easier is that we all play multiple roles throughout the performance. And there was, I think, some really great care that Barbara, who directed the whole play, and Shonna took as a co-producer, in making sure that nobody was getting victimized too much and nobody was being the abuser too much. And so in the end, it just creates a really kind of nice balance for everything, where you're getting to really understand each side of everything. And so you have like a very kind of impartial view at the end of it. As well as the fact that even despite the heavy subject matter that we're doing, this was like a really great ensemble to be a part of. And there were, despite the heavy subject matter, a lot of jokes being told during rehearsals, a lot of things getting tried out, a lot of things succeeding or not succeeding, and then calibrating from there, because I think we all understood kind of what we were trying to do, and we're grateful to be a part of that.
I'm trying to remember the exact question. But yeah, it was some heavy material, and I think maybe the hardest part was just transitioning from doing one character to the next. I mean, it's triggering, as they say, a lot of the pieces. For example, the grandmother, okay, the Trinidadian grandmother, I feel like I know that character. I know who she is. It's so on point. The playwright really captured just a lot of the essence of what that woman would be. But it was also really emotional, so it was really hard. You know, and I wasn't expecting it, because, you know, you rehearse and you have time in between. You can transition. You stop and you walk away, you take a break. But when you're doing one piece after the next, and you have to suddenly recover and just read something like stage directions, it was like really hard to you know, I had to get myself together. Because it doesn't show because you're playing the role, but then you leave the stage and everything you're holding on to kind of can really start resonating and moving through your body and processing and you know, and I won't speak for other actors because some of us here do 3 things in a row. But that was, a lot of it was trying to get back to where you're supposed to be and let go of the heaviness and the weight that each piece kind of filled you with.
Yeah, that was actually really beautifully said. As a survivor of assault myself, there were some pieces that kind of like hit me in a really specific place, and I realized that I had to like work through that while still like allowing myself to have that vulnerability and to like allow that to come out. And in a way it was kind of cathartic to be able to like voice these things, even as like a character, to be able to like say it, I guess, because it's not something that, you know, I'll like walk around and be like, hey. So in that sense, there was a lot of like interesting work to be done, and I think that it was also like really empowering to be able to take charge in the scenes where, you know, that was the outcome. And then also it was nice to find the fun, I guess. Like that was one of the things that I kept trying to do, is to make sure to find the fun in like the scene, in the character for everyone, so that it wasn't always so like dramatic. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Any questions or comments for our panelists tonight? I know there's a lovely reception outside, and it looks looks like everybody is anxious to get out there. I'd like to give you all like one last very quick word before we head out. So Haley, do you have any last?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to everyone involved, to Professor Trinch and Professor Cassidy. Thank you to all the actors and all the other playwrights, and to anyone else who helped. I, like Serena, was shocked that when my play got selected, but I was really glad that I did because I loved participating in this. I've never been a part of a play before, but I've had a lot of fun.
I also wanted to thank Professor Trinch and Professor Cassidy. They definitely pushed me to be my most authentic and honest self in their class. I also feel like I wrote this piece years ago, like back when I was still here, and the fact that it was able to be brought back and the fact that people still resonated with it, I'm super grateful for like the crowd that clapped, but anyone who appreciated it, I'm just so grateful for you all. Thank you.
I'd say thank you, of course, to Professor Trinch and Professor Cassidy. This really has been an amazing opportunity, and I'm honored to be able to just share that side with you all, and I'm really happy that you all came to see the different plays. And I just want to leave with one more thing that I actually learned in the Seeing Rape course, is that rape is not confined to a specific situation or for what many of us think it looks like in our heads. So just be vigilant and careful of what society may have told you what rape looks like or what rape is.
This program very much feels like a jewel, a very special and wonderful jewel. And what makes it incredible is it's your voice. It's all of your voices. It's not the professors who are writing this. It's your voice. It's your peers. And yes, it is a combination of lots of things that might have gone into it, but it comes from a very real place. It comes from a very real experience, however that comes to you, be it through voices of other people you've been in the room, or that it's happened directly and you're now giving voice to it. So survivorship, the voices of survivors, just like you said so appropriately, that rape looks very different. The voices of survivors who experience this is important in the conversation of how we change what we do. And so we need to make it safe for survivors to come forward. We need to not judge. We need to not decide in our minds that it looks like this and you don't look like that, so this really couldn't have happened. And we also need to recognize that the only way to change this conversation and make the future better depends on everyone here hearing this, owning it, and giving space to the conversation and giving space for survivors to come forward. Because the more it stays in the dark, the more we minimize, the more we shut out, the more we refuse to recognize and lift up what is a real issue for many, many people. And survivors need that space, and we need to change the future. And it's up to all of you. So, thank you.
I want to, first of all, congratulate everyone involved with this program for the 10-year anniversary of Seeing Rape, which is really such an incredible accomplishment. And I think what we've all heard is that these stories resonate so powerfully, and they all look so different. And whether someone's story was told tonight or not, there's a story out there that connects and resonates with all of us. And I think it's important that we honor the truths and the experiences, regardless of how they look or how they're defined or whether the legal system treats them in certain ways or not. And so it's important to honor the dignity and experiences and perspectives of everyone who is affected by rape culture, which is all of us in different ways. So I really want to thank the playwrights once again for being so vulnerable and sharing so many important stories. And I also want to thank the John Jay community for creating a space that allows these kinds of stories to be told so honestly and with so much rawness. And I know that everyone here tonight has been affected by that. So thank you. Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of echo everything else, especially this last thing that you said about the community of John Jay College, and I just wanted to express my appreciation to all of you, and to the playwrights, and to Shonna and Barbara, because this is really such a rare opportunity, I think, for me as an actor, certainly, that we have our actors' theater is kind of its own community. We say we hold certain values, but a lot of the time, because of our own egos, because of other factors, things don't get to kind of be as raw and as immediate as this program is. And it's really just a testament to the unique space that John Jay College, I think, is, and the unique space that we have these student actors working in this, what I understand to be like an interdisciplinary class. Really creates a really exciting and unique opportunity that I'm very grateful for.
And I just feel privileged to be involved in this project. It's just a privilege to say the words that you all have written. There's lots of plays out there. This really kind of targeted, concentrated focus on how we define what rape is. I think it cannot be said enough, cannot be repeated enough, and it kind of brings to mind the whole idea of why we do art. What is the importance of art? Why is art relevant in society? And art really is a way in which you can kind of teach people, share information, tell stories that we have inside that people can hear in a different way. Everyone kind of learns or sees things differently, and so it's just amazing that you guys are doing this, and I'm just totally privileged to be here, so thank you.
Yeah, this is my third time doing seeing rape or a version of it. And every year I'm like really in awe of the stories that are told and the impact that they have, and the way that the communication or the conversations that can come of that. I think it's incredibly powerful and important to have those conversations, and I'm glad to be a part of something that is bringing that to the forefront. Also, on a lighter note, I wanted to say, Viva las putas!
Okay, so President Mason has a reception for us in the atrium, so let's go. Thank you all so very much.